chess world, I am Lucky Actor, your source for all about chess, bringing you the chess news of the day. Today we are covering Norway Chess Round 4. Magnus, the real champion bounces back, Hikaru leads. Dubai Open Round 6. High voltage Muradli, Erdogmus game drawn, Sadwani joins lead. Let's start with Norway Chess first. Bloodbath in Round 4 of Norway Chess as all three games are decisive in classical format. The chess world is hardly breathing. Every round in Norway Chess is presenting suspense and thrills. Just the round before, the world trembled as two world champions lost in a single round of this toughest tournament ever. And the very next round saw some unimaginable results from all three boards. The 5 times world champion and the greatest chess player of all time, Magnus Carlsen, lost to an 18-year-old Pragg in last round. And here he is set against the Fabiano Caruana, the world number 2, who is threatening to take away the number 1 spot from Magnus. Losing this game would solidify that argument on Caruana's favor for sure. With all these equations floating on the air, Magnus sat onto the board, and the world witnessed another classic Magnus grind. In the opening and middle game phase, if anyone was better, it was Caruana. At least that was Hikaru's take from the confession booth.
Out of the opening is what I wanted, and can't complain. In terms of the other games, obviously Magnus with the double black in a row here after a loss to Pragg yesterday, in a tough situation against Fabiano. I'm going to make maybe prediction is the wrong word to put, but I would just say that if we look at this game within the context of chess history, I think it's a very, very critical game. Because I'm not an odds maker or anything, but I think if Magnus loses today, there's probably, at least a 30% chance, I think, that Fabiano will be able to get red hot and maybe overtake Magnus to become number 1 in the world. So a very, 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 very critical game within the context of chess history, I guess you could say today. Of course, if Magnus doesn't lose, then it's no big deal. But still, I think it's worth pointing out because you don't generally have games that have such importance like this. So from that standpoint, it should be very exciting to see. It's some kind of Italian, very slow. Magnus played an early bishop a7 with bishop e6, a little bit of a funky move order for Magnus. Obviously, Fabiano, I'm sure, is very well prepared, but it's still very early in that game, so it's going to be exciting. But
Magnus kept being solid and started grinding the position in the endgame where, according to all, he is next to God. Fabiano played ultra-precise till the end until he was left with an impossible move to find that could save the game. To prove that Fabiano is a human and with very little time on clock, the world number 2 played a king move instead of checking Magnus's king laterally from the edge of the board, and Magnus won the game to make sure all the whispers of losing his number 1 spot vanishes away. On the other board, for the first time since a long time, Pragnananda has been observed to fall into opponent's preparation. His Nimzo Indian defense against Hikaru Nakamura went wrong in move 20 as he developed his light-squared bishop to d7 instead of pushing the a-pawn to destabilize Hikaru's queenside. This allowed Hikaru a very good positional advantage, eventually giving him a piece for 2 pawns as Pragg went for an unsound knight sacrifice trying to create a counterplay. But Hikaru proved all of that as invalid with his cool-headed play for the rest of the game and took home a nice victory. This phenomenal victory topples Pragg off the lead, and Hikaru himself positions him there on the top. Joins him the French number 1 Alireza, who played an excellent game to defeat Ding Liren, the current world champion who is at the bottom of the table until now. In women's section, the tournament leader Vaishali benefits from a blunder by 61-year-old Pia Kramling and further solidified her sole lead by a margin of 2.5 points. Anna Muzichuk finds herself to second position with a very enterprising victory against Humpi Koneru. Ju Wenjun hold the only draw of the round with a narrow escape against Lei Tingjie, who later loses to Ju in the only Armageddon of the round. After the rest day tomorrow, the players will appear with restored energy and some exciting pairings in both open and women's section. You are invited to stay with us for the daily news updates. Dubai Open 2024, Mohammad Muradli draws with Erdogmus to hold joint lead in round 6. GM Mohammad Muradli continues to dominate the tournament, holding on to his lead with a strategic draw against rising star IM Erdogmus in round 6. Hot on his heels is IM Aronyak Ghosh, who secured a draw against GM Inian, securing second place with 4.5 points. With the leaderboard packed with talent including GM Raunak Sadwani and GM Velimir Ivic, round 7 promises intense battles. Ghosh is set to clash with Muradli, while Sadwani faces off against Erdogmus and Ivic challenges Inian. Stay tuned as the drama unfolds in this high-stakes chess spectacle. With that, we end our today's news. Stay tuned with us for tomorrow's news coverage. Until then, it is Lucky Actor signing off. Bye-bye.